Hello, hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the Book Dungeon, where we talk about books and spill a little tea. Today we're going to be talking about the Lord of the Rings show that is coming out, The Rings of Power. And I'm going to let you know my thoughts on it and the controversy surrounding it. So without any further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's talk about it. Roll the intro. Welcome back. Now, what are we talking about? Why is this show getting a whole lot of controversy? And I'm going to go through it point by point. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power is a billion-dollar production by Amazon. Yeah, let that sink in. They are spending a billion, not a million, $1 billion on this. And it's because of the high price that has caught a lot of people off guard considering how it looks, and I'm going to get into that later. But it's a $1 billion production that's being done by Amazon, and a lot of the controversies have been surrounding the creators of this show and the fan base. Now, the creators of this TV show are saying that the changes that they're making to certain elements and character assassinations are to help the world be more diverse, helping it be more inclusive. Now, I'm not against being inclusive. Let me say that I'm not against being inclusive and noticing when a world it needs something, or a creator of a world that I love has done something wrong. I'm a Harry Potter fan, okay? J.K. Rowling is a TERF. She has made some very horrible statements towards people of color, being a transphobe. She has done so much to the community that she fostered with her creation. But we as a fan base can see that and recognize and accept more people of color into the fan base. And J.K. Rowling has changed things afterward, like saying that, guess what, Dumbledore is gay. Like, that doesn't help. And that's kind of what these Amazon people are doing. They're taking characters, like, let's talk about Galadriel. This is one of the key points that people are talking about in the fan base, is Galadriel. In the movies, Galadriel is a very stoic figure. She's like the wise woman that people go to for help. She doesn't really help on the battlefield. She's not a fighter. She's more of like an advice giver. She's like kind of like a Yoda, you know what I mean? Like, she'll be there when you absolutely need her, but she's mostly just giving advice and helps drive the plot along. That was Galadriel's original character. Now, in this TV show, which I'm assuming is a prequel to the trilogy movies, yeah, this is actually a prequel. And they're changing so much that us as a fan base, we can't recognize Middle Earth, our Middle Earth anymore. The Middle Earth that Tolkien created. And Galadriel now is a sword-wielding baddie, which I have nothing against. I have nothing against a sword-wielding baddie, but when you're taking one character who is beloved for being who she is, and the bigger part she has to play as her character, and then you change her to someone completely different, it doesn't help the plot. Like this is being a prequel. How is she gonna go from a sword-wielding baddie to the stoic figure that we know and love her later on, if this is a prequel? What happened in between there that made that change happen? Because if you're going to change that, you need to give us a strong reason as to why now Galadriel made the change from being a sword-wielding baddie to what she originally was. It has to make sense story-wise. Now, point number 2 that people have an issue with in this fan base is the fact, in this one, it's neither here nor there for me. I don't care about this part, but I understand how it fits in story and lore-wise, is they're changing, in they're changing dwarven women as they're described in the book, which is being dirty, grungy, like their male counterparts, only uglier and they have beards. Now the dwarven women are being shown to be well kept. They're being shown to have no beards. They're being shown to be more attractive than their male counterparts. Which, for me, that's neither here nor there, but I understand why people would be really upset about that, because it was like an established thing within the lore. So, our third issue is the issue that in this trailer that we were shown during the Super Bowl. Pardon that pop if you heard it. That's one of my knees. I have pain issues. Anyway, just letting you know, if you hear my body snap, crackle, and pop, and it's fine. I'm used to it. The world is too clean. The world is, it looks like Game of Thrones. I think Amazon partially saw the success of of Game of Thrones on Hulu, and they decided to use the same technology and wanted to cause more stirs around it, like Game of Thrones did for their several mistakes, which is another thing I will not get into. So if you want me to get into that, I will, but not until then, I'm not. It's too bright. It's not the foggy, dirty world that Tolkien created. Amazon and those making the decisions are claiming that people who have issues with these changes are like racist, bigots, and hate seeing diversity and empowerment. We love to see a sword-wielding baddie. We don't care about if it's a female or not. You're taking an established character and you're changing her into someone else. You're taking a character and you're putting another character's name on it and completely erasing this one. That's what you're doing. Essentially, that's what you're doing. Plus, we already had a sword-wielding badass. We already had the, no man is supposed to kill me, this is impossible. And she's like, well, I am not a man. And she kills him. She kills someone. This isn't Galadriel, it's another character. But we already had our sword-wielding baddie. You don't need to change her. We as a fan base want this to succeed. We would love a good Lord of the Rings show if we were given one that went by the rules that Tolkien created for his own world. We're tired of seeing our favorite fan bases being taken, our favorite IPs like Star Wars or Doctor Who these days, taking our favorite franchises and completely changing them to fit some kind of narrative. And the more is just fans being genuinely concerned. We're concerned for the world that we love. We don't want another world to be sacrificed. We don't want that. Not at all. We would love to see this thing succeed. Let's discuss the people of color issue. They're claiming that they're making these changes, like changing elves to be black, they're changing different races to be black and other ethnicities, claiming there isn't enough. Well, there actually was. There's an entire continent that fights alongside of Sauron. If you really wanted to make a show that's diverse and has its own rich culture and everything behind it, we don't get to see that much of the movies. Why not make a TV show about this continent and why they would side with Sauron instead of fighting alongside of the likes of Legolas and Frodo? Why show what their prejudice is against the Fellowship, putting the Ring of Power into the volcano at Mordor? Why not show us that? You could probably make an entire badass warrior women brigade or something if you really want that. You don't have to take what's already established and twist it. You don't have to do that. Why not show us that behind the scenes look of that nation and the decisions that led them to fight alongside Sauron? Why not show that? Why not show something we haven't seen before? That would be a perspective that I would like to see. I'm sure that has its own drama and conflicts. And it does nothing to the stuff you were already given that's already been established. It feels like they're doing this just to check some boxes. Just changing some skin color and a character assassinating a stoic female character to be a badass does not just check your boxes to make it a good show. You have to actually have reason behind it besides just using these buzzwords that you've now made them buzzwords, basically. Oh, if you don't like it, well, you're the issue. No, we're a fan base that is tired of seeing things be ruined for the sake of checking the boxes when it comes to productions like this. People want to keep making remake after remake after remake after, retconning this and retconning that. When you retcon so much, you're jumping the shark. Tolkien himself said that he designed Middle-earth to be like Anglo-Saxon times in England, where there wasn't that many trade routes. People weren't as diverse as they are now. There was expansive land in between each city or town. There wasn't really that many trade routes out there. Traveling was a dangerous thing to do back then. Robberies, people, just diseases. There wasn't a whole lot of diversity unless you're in a major capital city where there's an established trade route. I think for most of us fans, this is just a matter of preserving the series for what it is. It's the race and gender cards are getting played way too much with our beloved IP just for that sake of checking the boxes. Take Star Wars and the failure of the Galactic Star Cruiser that they want you to pay $6,000 for a night. And it's the reason why this thing is not booking as many things as it said, that they're taking a lot of the history and the lore within Star Wars, which has been around since the 70s. They're changing so much of it. There's this book coming out that's rumored to have Han and Leia. That's going to be canon. This is going to be canon. It's going to be Han and Leia's whole marriage gets retconned. Their other marriage, gone. No longer canon. It's canon now that they got married on the Halcyon, which is the ship in the Galactic Star Cruiser attraction. They're changing things to two of the most beloved characters in the original trilogy, Han and Leia, and their romance, and changing it so you can make some money, so that way this new thing that you're putting in has ties to other things. It's one of the reasons why people didn't really like the last trilogy of movies. Making Rey a Palpatine hardly made sense. It doesn't make sense. That's an issue that we also see within the Star Wars fandom. Not too many people are willing to just give Mickey their wallets, so now they have to try to pander to the original fans because the original fans have been leaving. I myself included, I don't even think I watched the last two Star Wars movies. I think the last one I watched was The Force Awakens. Yeah, I don't even think I watched The Last Jedi. But I got spoiled on it because I didn't care anymore. I didn't care anymore when they started changing things. The Force Awakens was great, but we heard plans of things that were going to be coming in the future, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good. So we left. And now they're trying to get the original fans back, fans of the original trilogy back, and it's not working. So now they have to change things to fit that, to try to pander to that audience. It's about money. It's about money and ticking the boxes so the show makes money. They don't actually care, and we can tell. Now, I know myself as a fan, this is just an example of me as a fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm a fan of other things too. Take Harry Potter. I can clearly see that J.K. Rowling has issues. She's a TERF. She has constantly went back and changed things later on, like saying Dumbledore is gay, because people got upset that there wasn't that much representation for the LGBTQ community within her book. or the fact that there wasn't that many people of color in her book, and Cho Chang was treated stereotypically as the beautiful, nerdy, submissive Chinese girl. Like, I'm able to recognize when a fan base should change some things. If the next iteration comes in, that those things should be changed. There should be things that help make the series better for everyone. But you have to do it right. I'm a fan of Twilight, and oh my god, Stephenie Meyer has so many issues. There's so much controversy around the Twilight Saga. If you guys want that video, please let me know. I will talk about the Twilight Saga. So it's not an issue. I mean, the top of the list that Stephenie Meyer has done, the way she's piggybacked off of the Quileute tribe that actually exists. It's not just the tribe of Native Americans that she made for her series. It's an actual tribe out there. The fact of her questionable writing of the relationship between Bella and Edward. The entire imprinting issue with Jacob and Renasbury. And yes, we don't say her actual name in this fandom. It's a meme at this point, and I'm used to it when it comes to rigatoni. Yeah, it's not a matter of people being, we don't want black people, we don't want badass women. That's not what it's about. It's about seeing not being able to recognize our Middle Earth. It's about not being able to see where the one we love begins and this one starts. For them, it's about money, and we can see it. I have not seen a single person in the fandom make those kinds of remarks. I have not seen a single Twitter thread or a single Reddit post where people are bashing on the fact that there's going to be more diversity. It's the way that it's being gone about. It's about the way that this looks. It's about the way that the production is treating Lord of the Rings. They're not seeing a rich world full of its own history, its own fan base having its own history. It's not about it's about them seeing dollars and money opportunity, where we see it as a comfort world, a world that we love and cherish and don't want to change, unless it's done for the right reasons. That's what it boils down to. They want to say that people that are bigots and racist because we're calling them out on their shit. That's not yeah. So this is probably going to be a $1 billion flop because I won't be watching it. I'm not going to probably be watching Lord of the Rings. This one. I will go back and watch the originals. So yeah. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like and hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell for shits and gigs, eh? I do all kinds of things. I talk about books, I talk about drama. Sometimes I'll talk about stuff like this because I am a huge nerd, if you couldn't tell by like the dolls here, the books here, the Keyblade and the Riddler staff over here, and my gigantic Pumpkin King poster. Yeah. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.